What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going over a cost comparison of different cities and metro areas compared to the Rochester area, as well as going to go into a short, hopefully it's a quick market review for you guys, market update for you guys. I haven't really done this on the channel at all as far as the market comparison or the market update, I guess, but I have done a cost comparison before, but not in a while. So you're in for a treat on this one if you're into that kind of thing of seeing if you can afford how to live in a new area. Let's check it out. But before we do, my name's Anthony Hamilton with the American Home Team here at eXp Realty. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And as much as I love making these videos for you on all things Rochester and Finger Lakes living, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, I'd be honored to be the team of choice. Without further ado, let's hop into this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen over here. So here we are. We got the 9-county area over here, right? So we got Orleans, Genesee, Wyoming, Livingston, Ontario, Yates, Seneca, Wayne, and Monroe. And of course, Rochester sits right here in Monroe County, right on the south shore of Lake Ontario. So kind of what we're going to be going into is we're going to be doing a cost of living calculator. But I did want to show you a market review for July of 2024. So first things to start off with is the median sales price. Obviously, you guys can read this probably before I spit it off to you, but for these 9 counties, I've already gone ahead and put them all in here. This is for single family residences only. We'll add in actually condos and townhomes just because it makes a difference, right? Some people don't want some of the maintenance that comes with a single family detached home, so we'll add that in there as well. We're talking about a median sales price of $258,000, 1,000 some odd closed sales, 7 days on market. Now what that means is that's typically what we're doing here is delayed negotiations. That's what it's called. So delayed negotiations talks about or what it means is that hypothetically, you list a home on, call it Monday, and then you don't review any offers until the following Monday. So normally what's happening in this market is you are given 5 to 7 days to see that home, plan out your offer, etc. And then that seller and that listing agent then review all the offers at the same exact time. Doesn't really matter if you're the first offer in or the last offer in. As long as you get your offer in by Monday at that given time, call it noon, then they're going to review your offer. They're going to compare them against the other offers, and whoever wins, wins. So it's normally you put your best foot forward at that time. There's really no negotiation process unless it's on specific terms if you're the best offer, right? So that's really all the negotiation you get. A lot of people moving from different markets, that's the biggest change that they're going through, is that there is no back and forth here. It's normally a one and done. You get one shot. If you don't get it, you're moving on to the next one. Now, there is a scenario, I guess, where you can offer multiple times before, say the seller accepts another offer over yours, and before they receive attorney approval on that offer, you can submit another offer. However, that seller might be pissed that you didn't come with that the first time. Most of the time, if they already called an agent and a buyer and said, hey, your offer has been accepted, congratulations, most of the time they're not going to want to call them back and you know, say, sorry, another offer beat yours, just because of an additional couple $1,000s or whatever it ends up being, right? So your offer would have to be significantly better. So typically, generally speaking, it's a one and done type deal. Now, this is also an important point here. 117% of list price gets received, right? So that can be pretty significant depending on the price point. So, you know, keep that in mind. That's $117,000 on a $100,000 listed house. and you can do the math going upward. Is something listed at 300,000, you can do the math on that, or 500,000, you can do the math on that. So that's, you know, that's pretty significant. You're not really seeing that too much in many other markets where they're getting so much above asking price. Normally, you know, in other markets, I have a big network in Denver and Miami and places in Texas and California, and they're negotiating with sellers. They're saying, you know, we want seller concessions and we want XYZ done to the house, whatever. It's not happening here, guys. Because of this, mostly every home is going for well above asking price, and therefore seller concessions aren't typically given. Now, because of the NAR lawsuit change, there are some instances where seller concessions can be paid for the buyer's agent commissions. That's a whole different scenario. Give us a call. We'll talk to you about that, right? But pretty significant there. 1,300 new listings. Active inventory right now is 1,092 homes. That's a month of supply. So that means if no new homes were put on the market, it would take 1 month for the current supply to run out because there's so many buyers. That's an extreme seller's market. Most other markets, you're talking about maybe 3 to 6 months is a healthy market-ish. And we have a month. So it's a very, very, very competitive real estate market. Houses are selling for well above asking price, a majority of houses. And, you know, if it weren't for delayed negotiations, they're normally selling in about a day. So thankful for you guys, especially you guys relocating from other states. You have time, normally about this 7 days here, to get into a house to be able to then make a competitive and strong offer. So that is that portion. That's the market review that I wanted to go over. Now, the cost of living comparison. So depending on where you're coming from, it can be significantly cheaper or significantly more expensive to move here. So say you're moving from, I'm just going to click on a random one here. Okay, we'll call it Atlanta, Georgia. And you're coming to Rochester. We're going to go based off a two-person couple, right, making $50,000 each. So their gross income is $100,000 combined. So in order to have your current living standard in Rochester as you do in Atlanta, you would need to make almost $102,000. So that means Rochester is almost 2% higher than the cost of living in Atlanta. So you got all your groceries here: steaks, beef. This is bankrate.com, by the way, right here, bankrate.com. Pretty good resource to use for calculating your cost of living. So you got all your major kind of like food groups here, right? Your major groceries and the comparison of them. Your apartment rent, right? So it is going to be cheaper to rent in Rochester versus Atlanta, but your average home price is going to be, you know, significantly cheaper than Rochester in Atlanta. So your utilities here, it's going to be more expensive to be in Rochester than Atlanta. Transportation, it's going to be more expensive to live in Rochester than Atlanta. You can see all these things, right? So then let's go to another city that a lot of people are moving from. Let's go, let's see, moving from Chicago. On that same $100,000. So Chicago's so expensive that you can afford to only make $87,000 at your current living style in Rochester. That means almost just over 12% lower cost of living in Rochester than Chicago. Now let's go. I get a lot of calls from Los Angeles. So we'll go here. I think we already know what this one's going to be. Significantly less expensive. 33% less expensive than Los Angeles, California. Let's go Dallas, Texas. Recently had a great couple close out on a house from Dallas. So, you know, 2.25% lower in Rochester, which is, you know, these things are pretty significant when you take it all in. Let's do 2 more here. Go Sarasota, or we'll go, let's see, what's in Florida? Fort Lauderdale. I was getting a lot of people from Fort Lauderdale. Let's go there. Significantly cheaper in Rochester. 15%. Almost 16%. And then let's do one more. Let's go St. Louis, Missouri. There we go. All right, so St. Louis is actually really cheap. St. Louis is almost 12% lower than Rochester. So if you're moving from St. Louis, Missouri, you need to make more money to afford your current standard of living in Rochester. So, you know, and the reason I bring this up is because so many of you guys who are moving here, you're not moving necessarily by choice, right? You're moving because of a job relocation, or because you need to be closer to family for health reasons, or whatever the reason is, right? Maybe it's not necessarily a choice to be moving here, and you more or less have to move here. And I mean, these things matter, right? These things really make a difference. And so I think Charlotte, North Carolina is where a majority of people are actually moving to out of Rochester, right? So they're moving out of Rochester to the Charlotte area of North Carolina. So let's see. So actually I've got this backwards, but actually we can just do this. So cost of living is 3% higher in Rochester than Charlotte, North Carolina, which is pretty insane, because you look at, I mean, here apartment rent is more expensive, but then their home prices are cheaper in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, you know, these things make big differences. And like I said, most people aren't, you know, a lot of people do move by choice. Most of the time, if they're moving to this area of New York, most of the time they're moving for relocation purposes, whether that's family or if that's work or something like that. So they don't necessarily get the choice. So it's important to calculate how you and your family can afford to live in your new area. Now, one thing I did want to show you is I did just want to go into just showing you kind of briefly what kind of homes are in this area. Kind of at different price points here. So if we go residential, we can just go to map search, and this is going to be everything kind of currently on the market, and we will go to this area here in Rochester. All right, so let's go here. So you got a 2-bed 2-bath, $700,000. So we're gonna take a look at this one, these photos. So I'm not quite sure what this one is. This must be a Airbnb or something. That, I mean, 7.2 acres. So this is an oddball. Let's ignore this one here. And I'm just clicking on random pins here. Okay. So this one on Terrace Park in the city of Rochester, right, listed at 149, and it's not going to tell us exactly how much it's selling for right now, because it is under contract. It's just in a contingency period, but this one is a 3-bed 1-bath, And let's take a look. This was listed at 150. So it looks nicely done. Potentially a flip, because I see over here the owner is a company. So I think that this is a flip. But it looks like it's nicely done, right? The bedrooms look a little bit small. But it is a 3-bed, 1-bath house that, you know, has a $150,000 asking price. So let's go out to, what is this, Ogden? Or is this, yeah, Ogden here. So Ogden is still Monroe County. This one is a 4-bed, 3.5 bath. And listed at $625. Obviously, you can tell a significant difference in the house. It's a beautiful front of the house, beautiful landscaping, grand entryway. Looks beautiful, right? Big wraparound deck kind of thing. Maybe some minor updates needed, but otherwise turnkey, livable, and beautiful. Look at that tub. Nice tub. Giant garage. So, really beautiful home here. You can see what, I mean, 650 will buy, or 625 rather, will buy you in Ogden. So this is Ogden. Let's go out to Webster. So now we're getting luxury. This is $950,000 listing price, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. And I mean, beautiful grand entry. Look at that. Tons of charm. Very grandiose. Got your granite countertops, it looks like. Look at these columns here. It's just crazy. Built-ins over here by the TV. Beautiful house here. So you can see, you know, kind of what was this, 950? What 950 will get you. And you know what we see, to be honest with you, what we see is that a lot of these homes that are higher priced, they are still going over the asking price, but not nearly as much, not like that full 117%, right? It might be like 103%. So they're now, granted, at a higher price point, that's still a lot of money, but the percentage wise, you're not seeing as high, right? So if you're in these upper echelon, this, you know, this price point of a house, then, you know, it's reasonable to say that you can get the house a little bit closer to asking price, rather than something that's in like the 300,000 range, or, you know, I'll call it like $200,000 to $400,000 range, where, you know, if something's listed at 300, you're probably paying close to $400,000, and that's just a fact. So, you know, if you're in these upper price points, then you're looking at closer to, just because there's a smaller pool of buyers, it's not as competitive at that top level, right? That upper range. So if you're between 100,000 and I'll call it 400,000, you're looking at the most competitive price point. So it's more likely that your prices are going to go up. So again, guys, I haven't done a video like this in a while. Go ahead and use, before moving, or I mean, whether you're moving here to Rochester and using me, or if you're moving somewhere else, right? It doesn't matter. These are great tools to use. Just go on to Google and type in cost of living calculator, and you can compare different cities. So wherever you're moving from to where you're moving to, or would like to move to, and maybe you're between a couple different cities or areas, and you can kind of do the math on that, right? And you can make an educated, informed decision based on, you know, the numbers that you're seeing and affordability wise. So that being said, guys, hope you got something from this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, comparing different cities, reach out, let me know. And again, whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, feel free to reach out to me at the information on the screen. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And until the next video, guys, peace. Bye-bye.